Hello, and welcome to the Invoice Cloud demo. Invoice Cloud provides electronic invoice presentment and processing with a secure PCI-compliant web-based infrastructure branded for each billing entity. For our purposes today, we'll be using a branded entity shown here as the town of Harwich, Massachusetts. The Invoice Cloud process begins with you exporting out your invoices from your current accounting system. This export and then import into the Invoice Cloud system can be automatically generated or manually controlled. Once the export and import has occurred, all of your residents will receive an email similar to the email that you're seeing here. This email will give them the ability to view all of the information about their invoice, their account number, the invoice number, the due date, and the balance due, and give them the ability to view the invoice and even pay the invoice online. All of the data that's in this email is controlled by you, and you have the ability to personalize this however you'd like. When we click the View Invoice and Pay Now, the payer website will come up. This is what your residents would see when they're going to pay their invoice. From the start, they have the ability to register immediately and go paperless, which gives them the ability to review their invoice and payment history, schedule automatic payments, and also pay quickly with previously saved remittance information. Or, if they'd prefer not to register their information, they can use the Express Pay. This is also where they would go if they simply want to print the invoice and pay it through their normal process of a check or coming in to the town to make the payment. They'll see the invoice number, due date, all of the information here, and can immediately view the invoice in the same format that they would view it if they were receiving it via the mail. This invoice layout is defined by you so that it matches and is consistent with all of your invoice layouts. At this point, they could just print this invoice and pay it through their normal process, or they can go back and follow the instructions for an electronic payment. They can process an EFT check, or they can use a credit card, and the credit cards that you accept will be shown here. When the card number is entered along with the expiration date, immediate validation occurs. You'll see here when I say continue that I'm missing some information, and I've given the invalid card number here. Right away, the user is identifying that there's an issue and can correct it right away. And then resubmit. At this point, the service fee or convenience fee will be shown here, if it's a flat amount or a percentage, depending on the rules and guidelines of the types of invoices that you're sending out to your residents. The choices here are also up to you if you want to allow a minimum, if you want them to be able to pay a different amount, or if they just need to pay this in full. If they agree with the amount, they can continue and move forward with the payment. At this point, they'll need to reconfirm all the information regarding the billing information and the payment information. At this point, the payment will be processed. The credit card will be activated and all of the information will be included. The user will also immediately receive an email confirming their payment, and that email, which is created separately from the email we saw previously, can have some additional information on it. We'll look at how to set up the emails from the internal side in just a moment. Now, if we take a look at what you and your other users would see from the biller perspective, this is the biller portal. At this point, you can view your customer information, invoice information, searching payment transactions, and there's a number of different things that you can do to confirm and analyze the data that's in your system. If you'd like to look up your customers, you can search the customers, put in the information you're looking for, do a wildcard search, or go through an entire list of your customers. From here, I can look at the customer profile. So if the customer had called me to give me a new email address or confirm an email address, I can click on the customer profile, and this will give me all of the information that I need. I can also view any payment history for this particular customer, and if they had registered bank accounts or credit cards with us, then you would see this in an encrypted mode. The next thing you can do here is see what the customer sees. Maybe a customer has called you with a question on the website and they're currently on the payer website right now. You can click on the icon here to log in as the customer and immediately see the same screen that the customer is asking you about. You can walk them through any questions that they might have if they're looking for some closed invoice information or whatever it is that they might need help with. You're seeing exactly what the customer is seeing. You can also search invoices. If you're looking for a specific invoice, if you'd like to get a listing of the outstanding invoices, if you'd like to see every invoice for a particular customer or resident, whether it's outstanding or not, you have some options here. And once you click the search button, it'll bring your criteria forward. The email status is showing you whether the customer has clicked through the invoice or not that you have sent them via Invoice Cloud. So if the customer has clicked the View Invoice and Pay Now button and actually walked through the process of looking at the invoice, the status will change from Sent to Click Through. If there was a problem with the email address, the returned status will be shown here. The buttons here, which pertain to each individual invoice, allow you to apply a payment immediately. So if a customer has either called you to make a payment by phone or they've come to your office to make a payment in person, you can still process that payment through the automated methods of Invoice Cloud, getting immediate confirmation and immediate approval on a credit card. You can also see the customer profile here and the invoice in PDF or an on-screen HTML format. Perhaps the customer has called you with an incorrect email address and has also given you a correct email address. Once you enter that corrected email address here, you can automatically send them another notification of the invoice. At this point, an email will be received by that customer. You can even confirm that with them prior to having them walk through making a payment. Other information here that's available to you as the biller are monthly summary reports, the ability to search through payments as well, and also to see the daily payments report and total outstanding invoices. Because everything we're doing here is fully integrated with your accounting system, having a total outstanding invoice list is a great way to independently verify your accounts receivable and confirm that everything is in sync between your accounting system and Invoice Cloud. The daily payments received will allow you to have the reconciliation tools that you need daily to know what cash is coming in, what cash is going into your bank account, and also to reconcile between your accounting system and Invoice Cloud. There's also a few email notification reports here. One of them lets you know exactly how many invoices have been sent out, whether they've been a first, second, or third notify, because what you can do here is set up a certain number of days if an invoice is still outstanding to send a second and third notification email. You can also track statistics of all of your customers and how many of them are opening the emails, clicking through, making payments, so you can get an idea of adoption and how well your residents are starting to adopt this new technology. Now, from your perspective, one of the keys in successful adoption here will be being able to customize and tailor the portal to your requirements. So if we go to portal customization, you can see how emails can be set up for each type. So the email type here, first notice, second, third, also for the payment, can have a different email message and a different notification. For example, on the payment receipt, I can see here that thank you for your payment, a completely different email body than we saw in the original invoice request. You also have the ability to monitor a request system, and the request system gives you the ability to have customers send you questions and have you respond to them. All of the information would be here in your search and give you the ability to reply to a request, to go in and configure how the requests are done and give you and your customer a request number for them to use when they're calling with further questions. This will give you a nice ability to maintain all of the correspondence on a particular issue, maybe a question on a water bill or a calculation question on the real estate taxes. Whatever it might be, you have the ability to search your requests if you start to see a pattern, or just merely be able to respond to every request in an organized, consistent fashion. Overall, Invoice Cloud saves time and postage costs by managing billing and related communications electronically. You can improve customer service by allowing convenient access to and payment of invoices online. Please contact us if you have more questions regarding the Invoice Cloud system. And thank you for viewing this demo.